ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. We'll chant this Shanti Patha together. ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति. I think Shanti Patha is not there in this. We can print one and give tomorrow. Yeah. Yesterday we saw the background story for the Upadesha which is going to be given. This sixth chapter is very popular because in this chapter of Chandogya Upanishad, Tattvamasi Mahavakya occurs. Not once, 9 times it occurs. And Tattvamasi Mahavakya is very popular Mahavakya. Mahavakya means the sentence revealing oneness between Jiva and Ishvara. And therefore this sixth chapter is studied by the students. And we saw the background story. Shvetaketu is the son, Uddalaka is the father. Shvetaketu went to Gurukulam, came back after 12 years of very intense study. And he was bright, but he was arrogant. So father saw that, and therefore he asked him, did you ask for that teaching, knowing which everything is as well known? Shvetaketu could not believe that there is a possibility of such teaching. And therefore he said, is there such teaching available, possible? Then father gave the 3 examples. Just as by knowing the lump of clay, all clay products are known. By knowing the lump of gold, all ornaments are as well known. By knowing the iron, all iron products are known. Similarly, what is the message? Similarly, by knowing the cause of everything, everything is as well known. Then Shvetaketu had that arrogance, and therefore still arrogance remained. And therefore he said, I don't think my teachers knew this teaching. They did not have this knowledge, and therefore they did not teach me. If they knew, how come they will not teach me? I was a bright student. So whatever they knew, they would have taught. They did not, means they did not know. And therefore you please teach me. Then father saw that it is very arrogant, but still he has some humility to ask for. Therefore father said, okay. Tatha somyeti hovacha. Up to this we had seen. Now the second khanda, the Upadesha starts. The teaching on the Jagat Karanam Brahma starts. That is, we will read Dvitiya Khanda Prathama Mantra. Sadeva somyedamagra asit ekameva dvitiyam taddeka ahuhu asadevedamagra asit ekamevadvitiyam tasmadasatah sajjayata. So here, very popular statement. In the first khanda, the most popular statement is Vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam mrittiketyeva satyam. That is the popular sentence. Now here the popular, very popular sentence is Sadeva Somya idamagra asit. So what is said here? Hey Somya, O pleasing one, idam, this Jagat, agre, before creation, sad eva asit, was existence alone. This creation, which is known by us through different means of knowledge, was existence alone. And what type of existence? Ekam eva advitiyam. One non-dual alone. So this world was one non-dual existence alone. Means what? This world was there in the form of existence and not available as idam pratyaya vishaya, the object of this. And here Sat refers to pure existence, existence as such. In Sanskrit, the word Sat is used for existent entity. Like we can say Sanghataha. Then, agar pushpam is there, Sat pushpam. So, this is an existent flower. This is an existent pot. So, to convey the entity which is existent, we use the word Sat. So, general meaning, popular meaning of the word Sat is existent. But here it does not refer to a particular object which is existent. Here it refers to the reality whose nature is existence. Therefore, Sad means, Bhashyakara says, Astita Matram, pure existence. Pure existence means the reality whose nature is to exist. So when we say pure existence, we should not mystify anything. Pure existence means the reality whose nature is to exist. And that Sad Brahman was there. So Sad is the name or the word used for the ultimate reality which is the cause of everything. So by saying Sadeva Somya idamagra asit, what is suggested? This Jagat was there in the form of Brahman, which is of the nature of existence. And what type of existence? Non-dual existence. Three words are used. Ekam eva advitiyam. And three types of divisions are there. One is called Vijatiya Bheda, means clip is different from the book. That is the Vijatiya Bheda. And this clip is different from another clip, Sajatiya Bheda. Vijatiya Bheda means the difference between the members of different category. That is called Vijatiya Bheda. And Sajatiya Bheda means the difference between the members of the same category. This is also clip, this is also clip. But this clip is different from this clip. And thus, Sajatiya Bheda also is not there. Swagata Bheda means internal division. This clip has got the top part, bottom part in between. That is called Swagata Bheda, internal division. So, Advitiyam is dismissing the Vijatiya Bheda, Ekam is dismissing Sajatiya Bheda, and Eva is dismissing Swagata Bheda. You can make it interchangeably also, but this is how it can be seen. So, there was Brahman without any division. And that Brahman is the ultimate reality of everything. So, this Jagat was in the form of that reality only. Then Bhagavan Shankaracharya raises the question. When you say this world was in the form of Sad Brahma before creation, does it mean after creation it has become something else? Is it not Sad Brahma? Bhashyakara said, no, even now also it's Sad Brahma. But the difference is, before creation it was available as Sat Pratyaya Vishaya, as the object of only is cognition. Now it is available as the Idam Pratyaya and Sat Pratyaya both. Means I thought and existence thought. For both this is a object is available. And therefore the division is only in that much. Earlier Idam Pratyaya Vishaya it was not the object of this thought. It was not available to be referred as this. Now the Jagat is available to be referred as this. That is the difference. Otherwise, now also it is Sad Brahman. Everything is Sad Brahman alone. Like what? Like this pot. Before creation it was clay. Now also what? Clay only. Then what is the difference? Before creation it was not available to be referred as a pot, name. So pot, name and forms were not there, only clay was there. Now clay is there, pot is clay alone, but also available as pot, name, available for transaction in terms of name and form. Similarly, the entire universe is nothing but Sad Brahma. This is the message of Shruti. Shruti wants to say all that is here is Brahma. And this all that is here is Brahma. How? Because Brahman is the Karanam. Sad Brahman is the Karanam, Jagat is Karyam. And Karyam, the effect, is not separate from the cause. Therefore, everything which is the Karyam is non-separate from the cause, Brahma. This type of presentation is called Karya Karana Prakriya, the method of communication with the idea of effect and cause. And it is also known by another word, Adhyaropa Apavada Prakriya. Adhyaropa means deliberate superimposition, deliberate attribution of certain status which is really not there. So Jagat itself is really not there. There is no question of Jagat is and Jagat is having the Karyatvam, etc. But deliberately it is superimposed. Brahman really does not have Karanatvam, but for communication purpose it is superimposed. So this is called Adhyaropa Apavada Prakriya. So in Adhyaropa stage we attribute certain status. In Apavada status in stage we negate all of them. And by this Adhyaropa and Apavada we reveal the non-dual reality called Brahman, which is understood as myself. Alright. So here Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit Ekamevad Vitiyam. So this is the truth. So earlier it was said Ekena Vignatena Sarvam Vignatam. How is it possible? Everything is Karyam, Brahman is Karanam. Therefore, if you know Brahman, everything is as well known. That is the main teaching here suggested. It is going to be elaborated, but here that is the main teaching suggested. Now, Uddalaka is presenting the views of Shunyavadi, nihilist. They say, Tadha, Tadha eke ahuhu. Tat means with regard to this creation of this world. Ha, indeed, eke, some people who are following Shunyavada, who says nothing is the reality. Nothing is the most fundamental. Eke, those people, ahuhu, they declare. What? Asad eva idam agre asit. This world which you are seeing now was non-existence alone before creation. Agre means before creation, asadeva asit. It was non-existence alone. What Vedanti says, that Sat alone was there before creation. Whereas the Shunyavadi, these Bauddhas, they say that before creation, this world was non-existence only. What type of non-existence? Ekameva Dvitiyam. That also they use. Non-dual one alone. Because nothingness does not have any duality. Nothingness is nothingness. It does not have any variety. This nothingness and that nothingness, what will be the difference? Can we exchange our nothingness? Say, some nothingness I have, you give me your nothingness. Can we do that? No. Why? So there is no division. What are the parts of nothingness? No parts. Does nothingness has got any part? Top, bottom, middle. You give me the medium part or middle part of the nothingness. Can you do that? No. So there are not many nothingness. And when nothingness is the reality, there is no other entity. Therefore, that also is Ekameva Dvitiyam. So we think that our Brahman alone is Ekameva Dvitiyam. It is not so. Shunyam also can happily say that. What? Ekameva Dvitiyam. Therefore, the Buddhist presentation and this Vedantic presentation look alike. And many people say, Swamiji, what you are saying, they also are saying the same thing. Or sometimes they say, Swamiji, you are telling the same thing what they are saying. So they tell us, the original is become duplicate. So they say like this, Ekameva Dvitiyam. And further they say, Tasmad asataha, from that non-existent or existence, Sajjayata, existent world is born. So whatever, a fantastic idea they have. From non-existence, the existent world is born. That is how they say. Then father thought that my son will be confused, so immediately said, he said that this I told you the view, but it is not correct. In the next sentence he says, Kutastu kalu somyeva gumsyaditi hovacha kathamasatas sajjayeteti satveva somyedamagra asit ekameva dvitiyam. So, father, he told, the view is there. And immediately he says, Hey Somya, kutaha khalu evam syat. How can it be so? Iti ho acha. In this manner he told. So, what is the pramanam to say so that from non-existent, existence is born, or non-existence, existent Jagat is born? We don't have any pramanam. And katham asataha sajjayeta, from non-existent or non-existence, how, in which manner, by which method Sat, existent, would be born? And here katham is akshepartha, to negate that particular proposition, it is said, in which manner the existent world can be born of non-existent. Iti, in this manner he told. Means he presented the views and he dismissed that from nothing, nothing can come. From nothing, something cannot come. Something cannot come from nothing. What can come from nothing? Nothing. Nothing alone can come from nothing. There was a song, no? Nothing, nothing, nothing comes from nothing. Like that. So, that is the idea, that nothing comes. So, the entire world which is existent, experienced as existent, does not come from nothing. Alright, then what is the right vision? He said, Hey Somya. The father is really fond of son so much. Somya, Somya, how many times he told? You can count how many times. Hey Somya, O pleasing one, Sattu eva idamagre asit. Existence alone was there. This world was there as existence alone. Means this world was in the form of Sat Brahman alone before creation. What type of Sat? Ekameva dvitiyam. Non-dual one alone. So this world was non-dual one alone before creation. Alright. So idea is what? Non-dual Brahman, Sat Brahman is the cause of this universe. And therefore the entire universe is nothing but Sat Brahma alone. This is the vision Shruti is giving. And in fact you can appreciate this. Everything is Sat Brahma. How do you appreciate? Everywhere you see that clip is, book is, mic is. So that is there. Cause will be inherent in all effects. So Sat Brahman is inherent in every object. So you can appreciate Brahman. How? As existence is in everything. But what happens, Swamiji? Somehow he doesn't appeal to my heart, some people will say. Why? Because we want Brahman to be like pada, the shining. I like this pada. So Brahman should be some shining and some mysterious, some mystical properties. Therefore we reject, we are not able to accept and imbibe this idea. But really speaking, it is the most simplest thing. Every object has got existence. Existence alone appearing as different objects with different nama rupa. So what is this clip? Clip is nothing but existence with clip nama rupa. So the truth is what? Existence having different names and forms. Alright. So father clarified that non-existence is not the truth, existence alone is the truth. Alright. Then he explains the creation further. How this creation came about from Sat Brahman. This world was Sat Brahman. From that Sat Brahman, how creation came about. For that, in Shastra, different prakriyas, different methods are used. Here one method is given. So we will read the 6.2.3. Tadaikshata bahusyam prajayeti tattejo srujata tatteja aikshata bahusyam prajayeti tadapo srujata tasmadyatra kvacha shochati svedate va purushastejasa eva tadadhyapo jayante. Yes. Tad ekshata. So now the creation is presented. And somehow Shruti loves to talk about creation. So when topic of creation comes, Shruti is very liberal in description. So tat refers to Sad Brahma. That Sad Brahma Aikshata. Aikshata means visualized. Had this particular sankalpa. What? Bahusyam. Sankalpa means resolve. What? Bahusyam prajayeya. Let me become many. And for that, prajayeya. Let me be born as many. First, let me become many, and for that, let me be born as many. Iti ekshata. This idea is there in Taittiriya. So kamayata bahusyam prajayeyeti. So, this idea is there. So, like person thinks that is a single. Then what? Let me become double. Then let me become triple. That's how it happens. Ekvachanam. Then what? Dvivachanam. Then bahuvachanam. That's how. Aham, avam, vayam. So first word is only aham was there. Then avam, then vayam. Alright. So tad ekshata. Bahusyam prajayeya iti. Let me become many. For that, what did he do? What did Sad Brahma do? Tat refers to Sad Brahma. That Sad Brahma, Tejaha Asrujata, created fire. Teja is the Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekvachanam. Tat is Prathama Vibhakti Ekvachanam. Tat Brahma Tejaha Asrujata. Sad Brahma, that Sad Brahma created fire. Then what? Tat Tejaha Ekshata. Then that Teja itself, Ekshata, visualized. It is like the father created the son, and son also wants to become a father. So similarly, Brahma created fire, and the fire also has got now visualization. What? Bahusyam prajayeya iti. What father had done, son also does. So Bahusyam, let me become many, let me be born as many. And for that purpose, what did he do? Tad apaha asrujata. That Agni created water. Apaha is a Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. He created waters. So somebody may say, how fire can create it? Fire is inert. So here fire we have to understand as Sad Brahma who is available in the form of fire, that Sad Brahma created. So Sad Brahma available in the form of fire created water. Tad apaha asrujata. Like from this gold you make a wire, and from that wire you make links, and from the links you make a chain, but all the way there is gold. So similarly here Sad Brahma created means manifested as fire, and then it fire, Brahman which is in the form of fire, manifested as water. Created water means manifested as water. Tasmat, and Shruti gives very interesting illustration to appreciate that how water was created from fire. Very innocent, child-like explanation Shruti gives. That how will you appreciate that water is born of fire? Shruti says, I will tell you how. Tasmat. Tasmat means since fire has created water, water is born of fire, therefore that happened at the fundamental level, so now also it is happening. What? Yatra kvacha shochati svedate va purushaha. When a person shochati, grieves, so internal heat is there, mental heat is there. Yatra kvacha means anywhere, in any situation, wherever. Purushaha, a person, shochati, grieves, means there is a mental heat. Svedate va, or he is sweating. That time what? What is happening? Tejasaha eva tad adhi apaha jayante. Tejasa eva tad apaha adhi jayante. Adhi should be connected with that. So that time In that situation, tad refers to in that situation, Tejasah eva, fifth case singular, from fire alone, from Agni Tattvam alone, water is born. So, what is the idea suggested? When a person has got mental heat, means he is grieving, then what will happen? He will shed tears. So, tears, water is born from mental heat. So, you can understand how the water must have born from fire. Okay, this is one example. So, from mental heat, the tears, water is born. And similarly, when there is a lot of temperature, body gets heated up, then what happens? Sweating happens. The sweat is water. So, water in the form of sweat is born of the heat of the temperature of the body. So, Tejasaha, from the temperature of the body, this sweat is born. So, that time, what you should appreciate? That water element is born of fire. So, this is the illustration to appreciate how water is born of fire. Alright, here this mantra is suggesting certain corollaries. That is important to know. First one is Tad Aikshata, that Brahman visualized. From that we understand that Brahman is not only material cause, it is efficient cause, Nimitta Karanam as well. Because Nimitta Karanam alone do visualization, Upadana Karanam doesn't do. Therefore, Tad Aikshata indicates that Brahman is not only Upadana Karanam, it is Nimitta Karanam. Bahusyam Prajayeya is highlighting that Brahman is Upadana Karanam, material cause. Because material cause alone becomes manifold effect. So, Bahusyam Prajayeya is highlighting Brahman is Upadana Karanam, Tad Aikshata is visualizing, is referring to this Nimitta Karana status. Based on this only Brahma Sutra is there. Ikshater na Shabdam. Based on this Shruti, the Brahma Sutra discussion is there. Just by the way. Then another corollary is that Paramatma visualized this world. It means this world was already existent in unmanifest form. So really there is no new creation. Unmanifest becoming manifest alone is creation. And here, three Mahabhutas are going to be presented. Only Tejaha, then Apaha, water, and Prithvi. So generally we hear the creation is having 5 elements. So how come here only three elements are created, are presented to be created? For that Bhashyakara says, we can reconcile with the Pancha Mahabhuta Prakriya where the 5 Mahabhutas are said to be born. How? By assuming having created Akasha and Vayu, Paramatma created Agni. No problem. Like somebody has got 5 children and we are talking about the birth of third children. So she delivered this Devadatta. Then but he had got other 2 sons, what about that? So having delivered those 2, this third was born. Therefore there is no contradiction. And Bhagavan Bhashyakara here says that Shruti is not having so much consistency in the topic of creation because Shruti does not have commitment to give the details of creation. Shruti's commitment is to show that everything is nothing but Brahman. So these are the corollaries to be seen. Alright. Now, in the next mantra, this further creation is presented. So far what has happened? Sad Brahma created Agni, Agni created Apaha, water. Now water will create the Prithvi. So here water should be understood as Brahman, Sad Brahman, which is available in the form of water. That created. Otherwise water itself cannot create. Alright. So ta apa ekshanta Bhafyasyama prajaye bahiti ता अन्नमसृजन्त तस्माद्यत्र क्वच वर्षति तदेव भूयिष्ठमन्नं भवति अद्य एव तदध्यन्नाद्यं जायते. Now he says, taha apaha. Those water principles, ekshanta, visualized. What? Bhafyaha syama. See, water word up shabda is always bahuvachanantam. Therefore, apaha ekshanta. Bhafyaha syama. Let me become many. And for that purpose, prajaye mahi. Let me be born as many. Iti, in this manner, ekshanta. And then what? Taha annam asrujanta. Those water principles created annam. Annam literally means food, but here it is representative of Prithvi Tattva. So, apaha created the Prithvi. Annam, represented by annam. And here also Shruti gives very nice illustration to understand how the annam is born of water. He says, tasmat. Tasmat means therefore. Since the annam has been created out of water at the cosmic level, therefore, yatra kvacha varshati. Wherever it rains, yatra kvacha means wherever, varshati it rains. Tadeva, in that place alone, bhuishtham annam bhavati. Lot of food is produced. And when you see this, wherever it rains, there alone the lot of food is born. It is a representative of what? Adbhyaha eva tad adi, adbhyaha eva tad annadyam adhijayate. So whenever you are seeing that lot of food is born, grain is born, wherever lot of rain is there, that time what should we appreciate? That lot of the annam, the Prithvi Tattvam is born of water. So adbhyaha eva tad annadyam jayate. So wherever it rains, there is lot of production of so much production of food. So that is a representative of what? Adbhyaha eva tad adnadyam adhijayate. So that annadyam, that food is born, in that situation food is born of water alone. So it is an illustration of this annam, Prithvi being born of water. So Shruti is giving a particular place to appreciate this particular creation of food from water. So what had happened fundamentally is getting repeated even now. So when you see the Vrishti and Annam, then you can appreciate that Annam Prithvi is born of the waters. Alright. Now, with this, the second khanda is over. So in Brahma Sutra class, 3 sentences take 1 class. So here thoda fast pa hai. So now third khanda is going to talk about further stages of creation. In Tattva Bodha we have studied this. Creation is presented in 4 stages. Sukshma Bhuta Srishti, Sukshma Bhautika Srishti, Sthula Bhuta Srishti, Sthula Bhautika Srishti. Means creation of subtle elements, creation of subtle elementals, creation of gross elements, creation of gross elementals. So far, Sukshma Bhuta Srishti, the creation of subtle elements is talked about. Now elementals, the gross elements and gross elementals are going to be talked about. So here in the first mantra, the Tritiya Khanda, the Shruti wants to say that all living beings, means the bodies, are finally coming from that Sat Brahman alone. To show that, here Shruti makes the statement, we will read. Tesham khalveshanam bhutanam त्रीण्येव बीजानि भवन्ति आण्डजं जीवजमुद्भिज्जमिति. तेषां खलु येषां भूतानां, of all these living beings, tesham esham means those well known, esham these which are available for your perception. Bhutanam here doesn't refer to elements, refers to living beings, these bodies. For all these types of living beings, trini eva bijani bhavanti. There are three types of seeds cause for these living beings. What are they? Andajam, the ones who are, those who are born of anda, egg born. Jivajam, those who are born of the womb of mothers, Jivajam. And Udbhijam, those which are born breaking upon the earth, referring to the plants. So for all living beings which you are experiencing, what is their seed? The seeds are in the form of those living beings which are born of egg, born of womb, and born of this earth. The earth, the ground. Means they are born of their parents, they are born of their parents, and finally they are born of Sthula Mahabhutas, which are born of Sukshma Mahabhutas, which are born of Brahman. So everything is nothing but Brahman. That is what Shruti wants to say. Here some question is raised. He says, why are you saying that all these bhutas are born of those who are andajam? You could have said that the bija, the seed of egg born is what? Egg. The seed of egg born should be called what? Eggs only. So why are you calling that these living beings, egg borns, are born of eggs? The egg borns are born of those who are egg borns. So you should have said these some animals are born of eggs, some animals are born of the womb of the mother, and some are born of the ground. Why are you saying that egg born are born of egg born? It doesn't help us much. So why Shruti is saying in this manner? Somebody raised this question. So Bhagavan Bhashyakara, he is a little bit sarcastic. When he asked this question, Andajat, Andajam uchyate, ata andam eva bijamiti yuktam. Anda, egg is the seed of all egg born living beings. Why Shruti is telling egg born are the seed of egg born? For that Bhagavad Bhashyakara says, see, if Shruti is working based on your advice, it would have happened like this. He said, Satyam evam syad yadi tvadichha tantra Shruti syad. Means Shruti should have consulted you. You were a consultant, Shruti asked, what shall I write? And Shruti writes. Then what you said would have been true. But Swatantra tu Shrutihi. Shrutis are independent. So Bhashyakara really mentioned this to hit something on the head of some people who always keep on editing Shastra. The mind is editing mind. Our approach should be to understand what Shruti is saying. First you understand. If you understand well, then you will not have questions. Try to understand how Shruti wants to convey particular vision. It is something like somebody heard me yesterday telling that 3 oranges plus 3 oranges is equal to 6 oranges. And today I say 3 apples plus 3 apples is equal to 6 apples. Swamiji, yesterday you were telling orange and today's apple. Yeah, today apples came to my mind. Yesterday I had so many oranges, so enough. So apple came. So it doesn't matter. Because my tatparyam is not in giving you orange or apple. 3 oranges is too much. So that we are not going to give 3 oranges, 3 apples. Tatparyam is in showing the addition. So we have to understand what Shruti wants to say. And therefore Bhashyakara says, here by giving such description, what Shruti wants to say, that Andaja will be born from another Andaja through Anda. Shruti wants to show that particular parampara, the lineage, and therefore this type of description is given. All right. Then this was little bit incidental. Now Shruti comes back to main stage of creation, and that is from Sukshma Mahabhutas, these Sthula Mahabhutas are to be created, and that is presented in the next mantra. Seyam Devateikshata Hantahamimastisro Devataha Hantahamimastisro Devataha Anena Jivenatmananupravishya Nama Rupe Vyakarvaniti. So, Sa Iyam Devata, that Devata which we, Devata effulgent principle, existence, Sad Brahma. So, Sad Brahma who is Chaitanya Swarupa, that Sad Brahman which was mentioned earlier as Tat Tejo Asrujata Sadeva Somya Idam Agra Asit, that Sad Brahma which is Iyam, this Devata, this effulgent principle, Chaitanya Swarupa Brahma, which is the subject matter of this mantra. Therefore, Iyam. Sa Iyam Devata, Aikshata, visualized. Hanta, well, Aham Imaha Tisraha Devataha, Anena Jivena Atmana Anupravishya, Nama Rupe Vyakarvani. Iti Aikshata. So, Paramatma thought. It is just we have to understand this. It is not that Paramatma thought like you and me are thinking. Through Maya Upadhi, this type of visualization happened. That even though the Sukshma Mahabhutas are born, but Bahusyam has not happened. Manifoldness has not happened. Therefore what? Aham, I, Sad Brahma, Imaha Tisraha Devataha, Anupravishya, having entered into these 3 Devatas. 3 Devatas means what? The Agni, the Apaha, and Annam Prithvi. And Tisraha Devata refers to the Sukshma Mahabhutas. Having entered into these Sukshma Mahabhutas, how? Anena Jivena Atmana. As this consciousness principle, as enlivening factor, having entered into these 3 Mahabhutas, Nama Rupe Vyakarvani. Let me manifest different names and forms. All the objects are nothing but names and forms. So let me manifest different objects which are nothing but Nama and Rupa. Every object is nothing but a name having a particular attribute. So this Sankalpa came, that even after Sukshma Mahabhuta creation, the manifoldness did not happen. And therefore, creation, the stages of creation continued. All right. That what next is happening, and that is given in the next mantra. So, before we proceed, what is the meaning of Sad Brahma entering into these 3 Mahabhutas? Sad Brahma entering into these 3 Mahabhutas, which is also the Upadhi of Hiranyagarbha, is nothing but available as Chidabhasaha. Availability of Brahman as reflected consciousness is figuratively called the entry of Brahman. So, Anena Jivena Atmana Anupravishya, having become available as Chidabhasaha, this Paramatma continued these stages of creation. Alright. Then what is that further stage of creation? That is given in the next mantra. Tasam tribhutam tribhutam ekekam karvaniti seyam devata mastisro devataha अनेनैव जीवेनात्मनानुप्रविश्य नामरूपे व्याकरोत्. So now Sankalpa of Paramatma is Tasam, of these three elements, three devatas, three elements. Ekekam, each one of these three, Trivrutam Karvani. Let me make each one of these three threefold. Let me make each one of them threefold. And with this idea, Aikshata, iti Aikshata, we have to connect with the previous one. In this manner, Paramatma visualized. And then what he did? Sayam devataha imaha tisro devataha anenaiva jivena atmana anupravishya nama rupe vyakarot. So he says, Sayam devataha, that this devata means Sad Brahma, which is effulgent Chaitanya Swarupa, imaha tisraha devata anupravishya. Imaha tisra devata is a dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachanam. Anupravishya, having entered into these devatas. How? Anenaiva jivena, as Chidabhasa. Having entered into all these three elements, which is the upadhi of Hiranyagarbha, having entered into them, Nama Rupe Vyakarot. He manifested names and forms. Paramatma decided to manifest name and form, and Paramatma did it. He wanted to manifest the names and forms, he manifested. See, in case of local jiva, we say man proposes and God disposes. When God proposes, who disposes? Nobody disposes. Therefore, whatever God decides, he does it. So he wanted Namarupe Vyakarvani. Let me manifest. He manifested. So there is no boss over the boss. So he is the boss. So he decided that he will do it. He did it. So he did Trivruta Karanam. Some of you must have studied Panchikaranam. Panchikaranam, what happens? The subtle elements undergo some process of the Panchikaranam, quintuplication, and become gross. So there the first stage, one half of each element. Then one half is remain intact. The other half is divided into four, and they will be joining the other four. And therefore each element will have one half of itself and 1/8 of the other four elements. That is called Panchikaranam. Here it is simpler. Trivruta Karanam, what happens? Each element is divided into two halves. Then one half remains intact, and the second half is divided into two. So each one will have value of what? 1/4, and it joins the other two. So every element will have this one half of itself and 1/4 of the other two, and that is called Trivruta Karanam. So each element will have threefoldness. So what we are calling fire will have these three aspects. One half is fire, 1/4 is water, and 1/4 is Prithvi. Similarly, Prithvi will have one half of Prithvi, 1/4 of this Agni, and 1/4 of water. So this is how the Trivruta Karanam happen, and this is called grossification. So by this process of triplication, the subtle elements became gross elements. Alright. Then what happened? That is, Shruti is telling that everything is there in this Trivruta Karana form, all whatever world you are experiencing is nothing but these triplicated elements only. And Shruti said, I will show you how you can appreciate the triplication in different situations, different objects. So that is said in the next one. Tasam trivrutam trivrutam एकैकामकरोद्यथा sorry एकैकां करोद्यथानु खलु सौम्य इमास्तिस्रो देवताः त्रिवृत्त्रिवृदैकैका भवति तन्मे विजानीहीति तासाम त्रिवृतम एकैकाम करोद. Six, we have to supply karta. These devata, sad brahma. Tasam, of those three elements, ekekam, each one of them, each one of those three elements, Paramatma trivrutam ekekam akarot. Paramatma made each of these three elements threefold. Trivrutam is threefold. Yatha, how he did. Akarod yatha, nu, indeed. Khalu, indeed. Nu and Khalu have got the meaning, indeed. Hey Somya, oh good looking one, this teacher is telling. Imaha tisraha devataha trivud ekekam bhavati tanme vijani. So how these three devatas, means Agni, Apaha and water, Imaha tisraha devataha, these three devatas, ekeka, each one of them, how trivud bhavati, how they are present as threefold, tanme vijanihi, may you know that from me. I am going to tell you that how in each object you can see these threefold elements. So he will give 4 examples to show that how you can see Agni also in same element, you can see this water also, and you can see Prithvi. So tasam trivrutam ekekam akarod. Akarod means he did, Paramatma did. How Paramatma did, that I will explain to you. So Paramatma has already done, but how he has done and how you can appreciate, that I will show you. And that is shown in the next chapter. Chaturtha Khandaha. Yadagde rohitagum rupam tejasastadrupam yat shuklam tadapam yat krishnam tadannasya apagadagneragditvam vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam त्रीणि रूपाणि इत्येव सत्यम्. The Shruti has got very creative way of presenting this Trivruta Karanam. So Shruti takes various examples and shows that how in one and the same thing you can appreciate fire also, you can appreciate water also, you can appreciate the earth also. Sometimes, like some items are made that protein also will be there, carbohydrate also will be there, vitamin also is there. Some items are like this. So here, the Shruti will say that how you can appreciate that presence of all three of them in one entity, so that you can appreciate that they have been combined. So he says, first Shruti takes the example of fire. Yadagnehe rohitagam rupam. First example of fire. In fire, you will see 3 colors. So Shruti is presenting the subject matter based on color code. Agnehe rohitam rupam, the red color which is there of fire. Tejasaha tad rupam, that is the color of fire. So in fire which you are seeing, fire also is there, water also is there, and earth also is there. How you see this fire principle? He said the red color you see in fire, that is the form of fire. Yat shuklam, whatever white color you see, that is tadapam, that is the form of waters. So water is present and it is manifesting in the form of white color of fire. So fire, white heat is there. Yat krishnam, sometimes black is there. And whatever the black form is, black color of fire is there, tad annasya, that is the form of annam, food, means the prithvi tattva. So in one fire itself, you can appreciate fire, water and the earth with the help of three different colors. And now if you think that other than these three, Agni, Apaha and Prithvi, what fire is there? Is there any experienceable fire other than these three? This fire, white color, red color fire, white color water and black color earth. Other than these three, is there any experienceable fire? If you try to separate these three from the experienceable fire, nothing will remain. By that, what is suggested? The fire which is experienced by you is the combination of these three. So combined form of these three elements alone is available as experienceable fire. If you remove these three, then there is no fireness of fire. That is what he says, apagat agnehe agditvam. Other than these three colors representing three elements, agnitvam of agni, fireness of fire, apagat, vanished, departed, goes away. So experienceable fire will not be there if you cognitively remove all these three. What does it mean? That experienceable fire is the product and these three elements are the cause, and effect does not exist apart from the cause. Why is it so? Vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam. Because product is only a name, object of speech, vacharambanam. Trini rupani ityeva satyam. These three colors representing three elements alone are satyam, real. So what fire you are experiencing is nothing but those three elements. Apart from these three elements, there is no fire. So fire is a product, those three elements are the cause behind them. So three subtle elements are manifesting as the gross fire, and the product does not exist apart from the cause, because the product is mithya. Mithya cannot exist apart from satya. So experienceable fire is not separate from those three elements, subtle elements, and three subtle elements which are manifesting through gross forms. So these three elements, and three elements are non-separate from Brahma. So therefore the fire which you are experiencing is nothing but Sad Brahma. That is the intention of Shruti to give this description. Now Shruti gives some more examples which we will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadai Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Some announcement. One is that our class time is 11:30 to 12:30.